We're a wonderful podcast, jetting into the minds of strange people doing strange things. Gang, grab a knee, come on in, grab a seat. Welcome back. It's been a minute. We've been going through it, but we're here now. I feel so limited. I feel so limited in my range of motion with this microphone arm here. You know, maybe I got to get a standing desk. I shouldn't get a standing desk. I had a standing desk at one point, and I'll tell you what, you get over standing pretty quickly. If you have to work like at a computer or whatever, I say you. I really just mean me. Hey, you might have a standing desk and love it. Me, on the other hand, I mainly used it to perfectly position seated height, which I don't think is its desired use case, but that's how I was using it. The fact that people are using it to stand up and they're like, yeah, get, a bit of mobility, bit of flexibility into my day. And I was using it to be like, let's get this perfectly to elbow height. Let's have flat elbows. Let's get good seated posture. That's what I was doing. So it was good. It was actually a good thing. Gang, let's take it back to, I was going to say like old school. It really isn't. I want to kick this off with something fun that I haven't done in a while. Transition. Boom, dude. We're going to misconnections. Sorry. I'm sorry. I won't reveal yet, actually. Misconnections in one of my favorite places. One of the most active places that I've found for Craigslist misconnections, which is Bellingham, Washington. Long-time listeners of the show will know why my heart's in Bellingham. But if you don't, you'll have to find the episode where I say why. My friend Colin used to live there. So anyway, spoilers, revealed it. Let's go to Bellingham, Washington, and let's kick this thing off. A return to form with a little bit of love, and love is always in the air in Bellingham, Washington, which is another reason why I love it so much. Sexy redhead who delivered my lunch today at Bellingham. You were gorgeous and very friendly. I thought about inviting you inside, but didn't want to make you weirded out. Maybe someday. Sorry, I've taken a second there to play that scenario out mentally. And someone comes to your home. They're just doing their job. They're on the clock. Yeah, drop them the food off. Here you go. I was thinking about inviting you inside. Who would... Okay. Podcast question of the week. Who would say yes to this? Okay. You deliver food to a stranger's home and they say, you hungry? Maybe you should come inside. I ordered enough for two. No, I don't feel like getting stabbed today. I don't feel like waking up in a bathtub of ice and my fucking liver is missing. No, thank you. I thought about inviting you inside. The delivery driver. To eat with you? Maybe someday? Leave people alone who are doing their job, okay? Please. And dude, that's terrifying. Because imagine you get like another order to that guy's house after he's invited you inside. Ugh. Anyway, nightmare fuel. Hot mums of Whatcom in Bellingham. This is just an appreciation post to the hot mums of Whatcom. You're all hot as hell. Keep it up. Although I did check with Colin. I did send him that one. I asked him if he could confirm. And he said no. He said no, that's not the case. So perhaps some liars in Bellingham or different tastes, different sensibilities, maybe. McDonald's. Samish? Okay. McDonald's Samish. You were working the drive-thru. You have beautiful eyes. You said my credit card looked awesome. Reach out if this is you. You said my credit card looked awesome. Okay. Cool credit cards. Oh, here we go, dude. Forbes. Here we go. The best looking credit cards of 2024. Okay, American Express Gold. American Express Platinum. American Express Gold again. The card's so nice, it made it twice on the list. Sorry, and these are supposed to be the best looking credit cards. Okay. These just look like credit cards. If anything, the Apple and Disney one are the most different. These are just regular credit cards. You got a cool looking credit card. Damn, dude. I'll have to look at your credit card. Thanks. Thank you. I had someone compliment my eyebrows once. And my immediate thought was that, like, damn, there mustn't be a lot good going on here if, like, you know, they sort of like settled on the eyebrows is almost like the last thing. You know what I mean? You'd be like scanning the face, looking everywhere else. Oh, any redeemable sort of, the eyebrows are good. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like. They were just giving a compliment and being nice, and I'm over here like, you piece of shit. Hey, you piece of shit. Thank you, though. I think it was a compliment that I didn't necessarily see as a compliment anyway. Anyway, hey, enough about me. Let's get back to Bellingham. Beautiful woman gardening on A Street in the front yard. Sheesh. I've only sown you a few times driving home from work, as I'm reading it how they've written it as well. Okay? Grammar police. Put the gun and badge away. Sheesh. I've only sown you a few times driving home from work as you were gardening in the front of the apartment complex, setting and organize your plants. I truly tried not to stare, but you're amazing and definitely have thought about you a time or two. Lol. What a shot in the dark this is. I just don't want to be creepy and walk up to you. Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever sometimes read things that people say and then you go, you know, saying like posting about someone on the internet and saying like, hey, I didn't want to walk up to you because I thought that would be creepy or whatever. I truly tried not to stare, but you're amazing. And I've thought about you 1 or 2 times. Lol. What does that mean? Because that felt creepy. That felt just as creepy as walking up on someone while they actually, I'm thinking about the dynamics of like being down on the ground, doing some gardening, and then just like a shadow blocks out what I'm doing. And I'm like, huh? And look up and there's a man there. Hey, I sown you a few times. Dirt in the eyes. Run inside. When I said yes, it is, I meant in the most positive way. We were in a crowded aisle at Fred's and I squeezed by you and you said, my butt is big. And I responded, yes, it is. And smiled and have been concerned ever since that you might not have taken that as a compliment. It is. They wanted to stress that it is a compliment. Depends how you said it. I think you're all good. This is absolutely something that I would like make some passing, you know, response to something. A normal human interaction, right? I would have a normal human interaction and then just like replay that in my head for like at least the next 24 hours, you know? And if I finally happen to like stop thinking about it, my brain at a later point would be like, hey, remember yesterday when you did this thing? And I'd be like, oh, no, I'd forgotten, but thank you. Yeah, I think it depends how you said it. If you were like, it is, or something like that. Not even that. Oh, this is why the advice show had to go to the toilet. You know what I mean? Because who's this guy giving advice? Don't do any of these things. You know what I mean? You go, it is. No, even that's bad. How do you say it not bad? I know how you can say it bad. It is. Yes, it is. If you said it like that, that's cause for concern. Damn. But I can't even pass it off in a like lighthearted way. My butt's big. It is. What am I doing? What am I doing? I never would have responded, yes, it is. I would have just like done the like fake laugh. It's psychotic. Flirting on the I-5 South. You in a silver Toyota RAV4 driving from South Anacortes all the way to Marysville with sunglasses and a cute dog. Way too specific. Way too specific. Dan from Gossip Girl, whose name I've forgotten from the show You. Joe. It's Joe. We got there. We got there in the end. That's a very specific amount of detail, isn't it? That feels like you were trailing them a little bit. Me in a blue Subaru Outback following alongside, smiling at you any chance I get. It's absolutely as terrifying as I thought it was. There's a movie that I reference on this show way too much. It's Paul Walker. They flirt with a trucker and he calls him Candy Cane, and I can never fucking remember the name of the movie, but that's giving this energy. You in a silver Toyota RAV4 driving south from Anacortes all the way to Marysville with sunglasses and a cute dog. Me in a blue Subaru trailing behind by 2 car lengths. You can't see me, but I see you. Alongside you, smiling at any chance I could get. You're the cutest person I've ever seen, and I couldn't get enough. We should probably just run away together, no? Too many people go missing on like highways, you know what I mean? And this is sort of like, it's fitting that narrative a little bit. Am I like, let me know. You know what I mean? What do you think? Is that too much detail? That's a specific amount of detail, no? What's the vibes on this one? Guys, vibe checks on this. At One Weird Podcast on the socials, oneweirdpodcast@gmail.com. What are the vibes on this one? I think the vibes are filthy. I think the vibes are rotten. I think this feels like stalker behavior. You let me know. Beautiful redhead woman from YMCA downtown. It's been a while. We used to work together at NW in Bellis Fair Mall. And we had something very special. Oh, sorry. We had something special. Very special. Life took me for a spiral and lost connection with you. I ran into behind the counter at the YMCA in Bellingham on State Street several years ago. So I ran into you. He ran into her. Okay. We chatted for a brief moment. You made a deserved comment. I would really like to go to lunch one day and tell you what happened and why I lost touch. Well, what's the deserved comment? Give us the full story, please. You've never left my thoughts. Not even one day has gone by without you in it. Damn, dude. Damn. If anyone knows a red-haired beauty in the YMCA, give her this message and maybe, just maybe, I'll be lucky enough to hear from her again. So many regrets losing the possibility we shared. Damn. Damn. Guys, I'm putting this out to everyone, and we're gonna message this directly to you as well, Colin. I want you on the case, boots on the ground in Bellingham, finding the beautiful redhead woman at the YMCA. You know what's funny? This is within our control. This is fully within our control. I know a guy who, hey, he doesn't live in Bellingham anymore, but he's pretty close. He can drive up there. He goes to the YMCA in downtown. He looks for the beautiful redhead woman. He says, "Oh, fiery maned goddess." That's how Colin talks. He's a strange guy. There's a guy on I'll just show it to you. And then he holds up his phone. Boom. Okay. But for real though, maybe we should I'm gonna do this now. I'll keep you updated when Colin sends a message back. But let's just say, like, how likely are you to be in Bellingham near the, what are we looking for? YMCA downtown. All right. Keep you posted. Keep you posted, gang. And speaking about coming into people's lives, coming out of people's lives, a man went missing for 30 years and he reappeared wearing the same clothes that he left in with no idea of what happened to him. Now, that's the story he's selling. Vasile Gorgos was 63 when he left his home in eastern Romania to go on a short business trip. Before let's just get an energy check on this. Let's get a vibe check. My prediction, this podcast where we're supposed to be, oh, let's take a deep dive and analyze the psyche behind. Nah, let's gamble. I'm gonna bet. I haven't read this. I'm gonna bet. Let's not gamble, actually. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm gonna bet that Vasile Gorgos, he just dipped. He dipped 30 years ago. It was like, fuck it. I could just leave if I wanted to. And I reckon he did that. And then 30 years is like, that's a life. You know what I mean? Like that's you can live a whole life in 30 years. I know, because I'm 35. I've done it. I've done it. And then some. So, you know, speaking from experience, 30 years, you could live a whole life. He could have gone, married someone else, had children. The relationship there is broken down. And he's like, oh, I could just go back to life number one. Life number two is not really panning out for me. I think I could probably go back to life number one. I'll just pop on the same clothes and be like, oh, where am I? Where am I? Because, I mean, like, you weren't abducted by aliens or anything. You didn't have your fucking MIB memory flash. 30 years were just wiped from your memory. You done this. Vasile, you done this. And that's what I believe. And now let's find out if he just sincerely was a victim of something, and then I've embarrassed myself. As a cattle farmer and trader, Vasile often made such excursions, and this time had bought his train ticket in advance. Suspicious, out of character behavior. Remember that. The difference here was that on the fateful day in 1991, he didn't return home. Knowing that he was due to come back the same day, he knew he wasn't. Oh, quite a large suitcase you've packed there, Vasile. Oh, yeah. You know, whining and dining. You know how the cattle trading and farming business goes. I've got to go wine and dine those chefs from the city, so they'll want to buy my beef. Just another day in the life of a cattle farmer and trader. No idea if that's what they do. Knowing that he was due to come back that same day, his family immediately called the police, who launched a search effort. But after days turned into weeks, then months, then years, with neither sight or sign of Vasile, his loved ones were forced to assume the worst. We've just got to come to terms with it, guys. He started a second family. He started a second life, obviously, is what he's done. With no leads or traces to follow, they suspected foul play, but endless questions were left unanswered. But then, on the 29th of August, 2021, 3 decades after Vasile's disappearance, his family was faced with the ultimate plot twist. A car stopped in front of their home. Oh my God. The same one they'd had for the past 30 years, and outstepped an old man looking confused. That man was none other than 93-year-old Vasile, wearing the same clothes he left in all those years ago. His pockets even contained the same His pocket even contained the same train ticket he was due to travel with. What's the, because we've got pictures here if you're watching the video version on youtube.com/at Weird But Wonderful. Thank you so much. Hit subscribe. Trying to reach 100 by the end of the year. Thank you so much. The issue was there are pictures. I want to see the car, and I want to see the clothes. The car and the clothes that he supposedly left in and returned in. I want to see the condition of them. 30 years of wear on that? Yeah? Then he was out there just living another life. If they're in the same condition as the day he left, now we have a Twilight Zonian mystery on our hands. The issue was the past 3 decades were a black hole in his mind, and he couldn't remember a thing about what had befallen him. Okay, I like that he got out of the car confused. You had to imagine the nerves on you, though. Like, because in my mind, this is all bullshit, and he's trying to sell a story, right? So all of this entire like ruse de guerre hinges on his performance and his ability to pull off being confused and sticking with that story for the entire time. That's quite a lot. That's going to be an emotionally taxing day. My little fucking, oh my God, oh, guys. Hello? Oh, everyone. My mind is a 30-year black hole mixed with a labyrinth wrapped in an enigma mystery. Come on. This left his loved ones with arguably even more questions than before. See, that's also the gambit you run on that one. Once the story hit the headlines, numerous theories as to his whereabouts soon flooded social media. Dude, that's crazy. He's like, oh fuck, I forgot about the internet and mobile phones. Oh no, 72 pictures of family reunions with my second family have made it online. They see all the pictures. The first theory, as set out by Gone, but never forgotten, was that Vasily had simply decided to ditch his life and his family, probably having taken a lover with whom he'd run away with. That was my theory. Gone but never forgotten? Me and you, dude. Up here. Yep. We're thinking the same thing. In this case, it's possible that he wanted to make amends with his former family before he passed away. Okay, interesting. Maybe a diagnosis. He's feeling a bit guilty about ditching family number 1 30 years ago. And yet, how can you make amends when you offer no explanation as to where you've been and what you've been doing? True. It could even be that it's less of like, hey, I need some type of response from you, and more just, I need these people to know that like I'm still here. And now that they know, it's my time, and have the little infinite snooze. Because I say that because I don't think that it's for them. I think that it's for him. He's trying to get something out of this, reuniting with them. And I think that it is sort of it doesn't matter if they get any sort of closure and resolution. I think that he's trying to get that for himself. Which is why I don't think he needs to offer that explanation, because he just needs to feel better about or okay with what he's done. That's what I think, at least. Another theory is that he may have been dumped by the person he ran away with. That was also one of our theories. Accepting that he was getting older and not wanting to take care of him, simply returned him to his family. That's fucked. That's an extra. Mine was just, hey, he had a second life. That second life sort of broke down. He returned to life number 1. Not, life number 2 is not going to take care of me. I'm going to go back to life number 1, and all of those friends and family members and children will look after me now. Thank you. Yes. A third theory, which would explain how he retained his clothing, is that he spent the last 30 years in jail but hadn't wanted to admit it to his family. Okay, I see that. And if the clothes are sort of like kept, in a bag, damn, dude, if he comes back in the like perfect, the car is the key detail. And of course, even more outlandish theories also abound, including that he was a spy who had his mind wiped after his service came to an end, or that he was abducted by aliens. He had his mind wiped when his service came to an end. Okay. What's the age of retirement for spies? Because this guy had his mind wiped at 63? Yeah, he had his mind wiped. So he would have had his mind wiped at 63 and he returns home at 93. And of course, even more classico, abducted by aliens. We saw that one. We saw that one coming. Ultimately, neither we nor Vasily's family may ever learn the truth of what happened to him, but at least this is one missing persons case that has a happy, albeit flawed ending. Is it happy though? 30 years is a lifetime. They're a different person. If I knew someone, you did know him for 60. Maybe, well, how long did you know him for? If you knew them for, what's the math on that? Podcast question of the week. If I've known you for longer than you were missing, do I still, then it's like, yeah, we're cool. We still know each other. But if we were friends for 15 years and you went missing for 30, you're like, I've not known you longer than I have. Does that make sense? I don't know how I'm saying this like, I'm like, yes, and this is how I would justify it. I have no idea. If someone who left my life came back into it 30 years later, honestly, I probably wouldn't really have a relationship with that person, depending upon who they are, If it's, I'm sure his wife is like, oh my God, you're home. Where have you been? Where have you been? Oh, it's a bit of a blank. Any whoosie, I'm just going to go tend to the cattle. They're all dead, Vasily. What? Yeah, dude, you've been away for 30 years. We got out of the cattle farming business. I don't know. That's a weird one. That's a weird one for me. If it's like a friend or something, I don't know why I'm like workshopping this so seriously. But like, if you had a friend for 15 years, they go missing for 30 and they come back, you don't know this person. You don't know this person anymore. You know what I mean? Or is that weird? I don't know. And hey, we're already talking about family drama. So let's talk about the guy who shot his dad because of his stinky feet. An Iowa man has been accused of shooting his father in the face in an argument about his stinky feet, police said. David Carpenter, 48, was arrested and charged with attempted murder and child endangerment on Sunday after calling the cops and admitting he shot his father while his child was in the room. David. What do we even say at this point? A 48-year-old man shot his dad in the face with his kid in the room because he's got stinky tootsies. Police were called to the family's Burlington home around 9:30 p.m. Sunday following reports of gunshots. Following reports of a foul odor in the street and also gunshots. Carpenter's father, William Carpenter, told police that an intense argument unfolded after he told his son his feet stink. Please tell me there's more to this. David, for your sake, we're going to read on. There better be more to this story, mate. As the fight escalated, David Carpenter said he made a comment. David Carpenter said he made a comment about shooting his father and went into his bedroom to retrieve a firearm. What? He then walked back into the living room where his father was sitting in a motorized scooter and continued to yell at his father about guns. David, we're talking about your fucking rank pups right now, okay? why are you ranting about guns? Okay? Don't move. Hey, David, don't move the goalposts here, mate, all right? We're not talking about that right now. We're getting to the bottom of your disgusting, stinky feet. Now, they're gross. You were saying while you were pointing the gun at me. Continue, David. David Carpenter told police that he pulled the firearm out from behind his back, pointed it at his father's face, and accidentally pulled the trigger. Yeah. Yeah, all of the incidents leading up to that event, they all seem like accident. Oh yeah, what I did was he said my pup stink. He fucking knows that's my hot button issue, okay? I've been working on the... Anyway. I've been trying to work on the shoe stink anyway. He fucking hits me with my hot button issue. He knows my weak points, and he jabbed me right in my stinky toots. So I accidentally ran to my room, accidentally I accidentally punched in the code into my gun safe. I accidentally cracked that lock, accidentally opened it, accidentally pulled out my gun, accidentally checked to see if the magazine was loaded. It wasn't. So I accidentally loaded all of the bullets into that, accidentally clipped into the gun, accidentally took the safety off, accidentally cocked it, accidentally walked back out into the room, and then accidentally pulled it out in front of my dad's face. And then I accidentally shot him. Damn. So this was all just like a bit of a whoopsie, if you think about it that way, which is how I'm thinking about it, because that's how it happened. Thank you. 2 children under the age of 14 were in the home at the time of the shooting, officers said. Detectives said David Carpenter confirmed to them that his son was in the living room watching television when the shooting unfolded. A horrifying experience. David Carpenter faces charges of attempted murder and child endangerment. Dude, they're like just pulling the pin on your entire life over like someone saying, hey, your fucking feet are rank, dude. Even if they are, you know what I mean? Just be like, damn. Dad. You know, that's my hot button. Help me with the stinky feet instead of labeling me as the stinky feet haver. Support me, Dad. Support these stinky feet. David's being held at the Des Moines County Jail on a $100,000 cash-only bond. Authorities said William Carpenter has been taken to hospital to be treated for non-life-threatening injuries. How do you get shot in the face in a non-life-threatening way? Was it a Trumpian ear graze? Like, what's the situation on that? Preliminary hearing is scheduled for 2 p.m. August 21st, last week, at Des Moines County Courthouse. The shooting is under investigation. I need to see if you type in, damn, dude. And what sucks for this guy is that the long tail SEO on this is just going to be horrific. You know, you literally type in David Stinky Feet, and he's like the top couple of search results. Not quite number 1, I don't think. He was like number 2 and 3, but this is, you are long tail SEO etched into the sands of time. Stinky Feet David. You thought he was pissed before. Wait till he finds out about the fucking search results, dude. Hey, David, when you type in David Stinky Feet into Google, dude, that's you. Out of all the people on the planet, that's you, dude. Damn. Tough call on that one. I'd say Dad won. Dad won that argument. And hey, before we get out of here, let's throw in one last little story. You know, when you go have brain surgery and the hospital forgets part of your skull? Pretty relatable situation. Well, a couple is suing an Atlanta hospital that allegedly lost part of the patient's skull after it was removed during brain surgery because several bone flaps were lacking identification. I'm thinking of like the logistics of how, so you remove part of my skull, where are you putting it? Surely if we're doing brain surgery, it's all happening within the one room, yeah? You don't need to take the piece of skull out to go get washed and detailed to be put back into my fucking head. Surely you're cutting it out and it's there in the room with you. No? Doctors, nurses, please let me know. Surgeons, how does that work? What's the logistics on having a fucking bone flap removed from your brain? Their argument is essentially like, guys, there's so many bone flaps here. I can't keep track of all of them. I remove a bone here, I remove a bone there. Does it come from the leg, the skull? I don't know. Look at these pile of bones that I haven't marked or accounted for. Have a trip to fucking Kiki K or something, dude. You know, let's get some organizational things, you know, in mind. A Sharpie, James's fucking skull bone. Please put back in. Fernando and Maria Cluster, cool last name. There's a band called Cluster, Matt Berry, sounds like nightmares. Fernando and Maria Cluster are accusing staff at Emory University Hospital Midtown of negligence that led to an increased hospital stay, as well as both physical and emotional damages. A spokesperson for Emory Healthcare said in a statement, it does not comment on pending litigation, but is committed to providing high quality, compassionate care for patients and those we serve in our communities. Nice. So the PR team just pulled a fucking bullshit quote that they've got somewhere. Guys, look up the document that has our values in it. What are our values again? I know we should actually like live and breathe them if they're part of the fabric of our company, but no one actually does that. It's all posturing and bullshit. What does it say? Committed to providing perfect. Thank you so much. Email that to me and I'll put it in the response. Even though if we were committed to providing high quality and compassionate care for our patients, we probably wouldn't have lost their fucking bone. Now, Fernando Cluster was at an Emory Healthcare hospital in September 2022 because he was suffering from an intracerebral hemorrhage, otherwise known as bleeding into the brain. To treat the bleeding, Cluster required emergency surgery that would include removing a portion of his skull. The doctor removed a 12 by 15 centimeter bone flap. Damn! 12 centimeters by 15 centimeters? With a plan to secure it back in place during a second surgery weeks later. See, guys, sometimes before you go on a whole rant about needing to go to Kiki K to get an organizational system in place, you should just keep reading further because then you'll learn about the specifics of the case and why they lost the bone flap. My bad. But in November 2022, when Cluster was set to have his follow-up operation, the hospital allegedly struggled to find the bone flap. That's great. That's great. And you're having the skull bone put back in today? Perfect. And did you bring the skull bone with you? What's that? We have it. Yes, of course we have it. Of course we have it. That was a joke that we like to play. We have your skull bone here. So let's get you prepped and ready to get into surgery. And I'll go find that bone flap that we definitely have somewhere that I know where it is. When Emory's personnel went to retrieve the bone flap, there were several bone flaps with incomplete or missing patient identification, and therefore Emory could not be certain which, if any, of these belonged to Mr. Cluster. Cunt. You're gonna knock me out. We're gonna cut my head open, and you're gonna find out which one of these fucking jigsaw puzzle pieces fits my fucking skull. Oh, so sorry. We've actually put your skull flap back in someone else's head. How would you feel about that? You'd be suing. I don't know. I'm trying to think about how I would feel if the hospital were like, oh, I'd be so pissed. I feel like, guy, that's my skull bone though. If they said they can't find it, I'd be like hopeful that they do find it. But if they'd have put it in someone else's head, I'd be like, you're going to need to call him up and get it back. This is your problem to fix now, and I'm going to need my skull bone back. Thank you. I do just want to add briefly, and I'm so sorry that I'm taking your time up with this. I said the Kiki K thing. We learned more details. I apologize for the Kiki K thing. I'm now rescinding my apology because it says that there were several bone flaps with incomplete or missing patient identification, and therefore they couldn't be certain if it was his. That's where the Kiki K organisational system needs to be applied. Thank you. This ultimately required him to get a synthetic bone flap and entailed a significantly longer stay in the hospital. Couple alleges that the synthetic flap also caused an infection and that required another surgery. Cluster has incurred medical expenses in excess of $146,845.60 after being charged for the synthetic flap and the prolonged hospital stay in addition to his surgeries. Oh, dude. Opening that bill would have been, that's Tom Hanks Saving Private Ryan. Bomb goes off in his ear. It's like ringing and he's like stumbling around. What the fuck do you mean you're charging me for the synthetic flap? I didn't want the synthetic flap. I wanted my skull back. Oh yeah, the extra surgeries as a result of the infection from the skull flap plus the skull flap. You're going to pay for that. Like fuck I am. I didn't lose my skull. You did. So you'll wear that one. The couple alleges in the suit that he's been unable to work, his family relationship has been impaired, and he's suffered permanent injuries due to the hospital's negligence. Dude, that's crazy. Their lawsuit doesn't state an amount the couple is seeking. Oh my God, dude. Because the number didn't fit on a piece of paper because it was so big. But notes that they are seeking both general and special damages. In civil suits, general damages are considered more subjective forms of compensation for claims such as emotional distress or harm to quality of life, while special damages are more specific economic harms. Well, they've suffered both. So, dude, that is crazy. And gang, that's going to do it for this one. You know, sorry that we ended on such a hot-blooded note. I didn't know that we were going to get so fucking fired up towards the end. But when you misplace a skull flap, you know, that it does something to someone. So thank you so much for coming, watching, listening, however you consume the show. Consume the show is a weird way of describing that, but it's too late. I've said it. And I could go back and unsay it, but I didn't this week. But if you've got any weird but wonderful news articles, news stories, snippets, stories, findings, life events, strange interactions and happenings to you, you know, have you lost a skull flap? Has someone in your life disappeared for 30 years and come back in the same clothes in some type of like abduction, like alien abduction sort of narrative? You know, has that happened to you? If it has, shoot me an email, oneweirdpodcast@gmail.com, or DMs, you know, on the socials or comments, whatevs, you know, at One Weird Podcast, Instagram and TikTok for the show. The Instagram, it's wiped. We're starting again. We're starting fresh. So fresh, so clean. Subscribe to the YouTube and get yourself the video version of the show each week. youtube.com/@weirdbutwonderful. Chuck a rating or review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts. It really helps people like you find the show. Not a lot of organic discovery happening on audio platforms though, like you know, Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Because I feel like for me, all of the podcasts that I watch and listen to, I find them as a result of clips on social media, you know, or like a clip on YouTube or something, you know, like a snippet of the episode. I'd be keen to know how you find new podcasts. Is it the same way? Again, let me know. oneweirdpodcast@gmail.com. The socials, DMs always open. It's been fun, gang. Thank you so much for coming. So much content. the content receptacle overfloweth. I have so many news stories to do, so I'm excited to get more episodes out. Thanks for coming, guys. I love ya. Talk to you next time. Peace.